Hey, this is Gene from the Assisted Living Network. Where is this industry going? I get that question asked of me a lot. I travel all over the country, even internationally, do podcasts all over the world, and everybody keeps asking the same thing. Not where we are, but where are we going? Wayne Gretzky, the great one when it comes to hockey, was always asked the same question: why are you so good? How are you so good at what you do? And his response was simple and profound. I go to where the puck is going. So where do I see things going? What's going to happen in the future, and how do we position ourselves for success now and also massive success in the future? Well, here's what I see. There's 77 million baby boomers in America alone. There's 4,000 people every day turning 85 years old. Now I want you to think for a moment. The average person living in assisted living, they're not 70, they're not 60. Maybe your kids think you should be in assisted living, but that's not it. It's somebody who's 80 years old, 90 years old, maybe even older. But let's just say that average individual is 82 years old, and they're in that home and they're going to be there for a year or two or three. Now they may be there longer or shorter, they may be older or younger, but you get the point. That's the person we're talking about. So how many of those people are here? Well, I just gave you the fact, 4,000 people a day on average are turning 85 years old. 30 days in a month, that's 120,000 people every single month. That's 1.4 million people that are going to turn 85 this year in America alone. Now, the baby boomers, it is a phenomenon that happened all over the world. I'm just focusing right now on the US and the opportunity here. But when we talk about 1.4 million people turning 85 years old this year, they're not all going to check into assisted living. I get that, but a percentage of them will. The fact is that 70% of all of us are going to need help with our activities of daily living. We call that an ADL, for an average of 3.5 years. Now, whether somebody lives at home and has somebody come in to help them, or they go to someplace like in a residential assisted living home, they're going to need that help. So when we talk about 30% of that 1.4 million people, that is hundreds of thousands of people that potentially need help, and that's in addition to the ones that turns 86 and 87 and 88 and so on. That's a lot of people. So where do I see this going? Right now, there's a lot of people in assisted living. In America today, when you add up all of the beds, it's somewhere around 1.4 million. There's that much need every year coming, compounding. That's why you see big box facilities being built. And those big box facilities that are being built, and there's big names out there, there's hedge funds and there's large multi-billion-dollar companies that are publicly traded that build these 20, 30, 40, 50 million dollar complexes. Now we've seen them out there, 100 beds, 200 beds, 300 beds. There is a need for that. But when I needed help from mom, my own mom, I didn't want to put her in a hotel, an apartment building, a big complex. She wanted to stay at home, and I wish I could have kept her there at home and being taken care of. But if somebody needs help and you bring them someplace, we want it to be a home and not home-like. A hotel, I go to them all the time. They're comfortable, there's service, but it's not home. I'm visiting. When somebody moves into residential assisted living, it is a home. So one thing that I see is there's a lot of people, tens of millions of people that are going to need this help over the next decade. There's a huge opportunity not just to provide housing for them, but the care that they're going to require. That care is going to be small, low level at some level, and then it's going to be much bigger and deeper at another level. But with residential assisted living, we're not a nursing home. We're not doing skilled nursing. It is a home, and we are providing care 24/7, but not doctors, not hospitals, not nurses and gurneys. So now that you have an idea, where do I see it going? More and more people are going to need this help. And once people understand that there's an alternative to the big box, the institutional, the large complex that is an actual home in their own neighborhood, well, a lot of people are going to want that option. And when I say a lot of people, Brookdale, the big facility, they have 200 beds. If I have 10 or 12, I only need 10 or 12 people that want a home versus home-like. And whether I charge more because mine is better than theirs, or more because I have better amenities than theirs, or less because I want the business more than they do, it really doesn't matter. I'm looking for that 10 or 12 in that sweet spot, and we know what that sweet spot is. We don't want to charge too little, and we don't want to charge too much. We have a very specific sweet spot that we do charge, and it works all over the country. So when these people move in, it is a better experience for them because it's a home, not home-like. Now, where do I see it going in the future? Right now, there are billions of dollars being invested in, poured into these large corporations getting into senior housing, nursing homes, large assisted living facilities, literally billions of dollars flowing in. But eventually, they're going to build those big boxes, and then they're going to say, we need to get more market share. And one way they're going to do that is by coming to us and buying what we have. Now, those of us who have one home, 2 homes, 10 homes, 20 homes, 50 homes will become targets. When I say target, meaning they want to buy what you've got. And if you've got a lot of homes, you're going to be a bigger, riper, juicier target for them to come in and buy you out. You have to understand how the big money works. They put money into the pool and they get paid to raise the capital. Then they deploy that money and they get paid to deploy that capital. Then there's the management of that asset and they get paid to manage the asset. They get paid 3 different ways. So once they've built all the big box facilities, the next step is going to be to acquire market share. And if they can write a check for 10 million, 20 million, 30, 40, or 50 million dollars to acquire your 10 homes or your 50 homes, they're going to want to do that. So what I see for the future, and I see this all over the country happening, is the big guys are going to come in and they're going to want to buy us out. Now you'll have a choice at that point, and it's a good choice. Either keep it, retain it, and make tens of thousands of dollars on a monthly basis in net profit, or sell it for a big, huge lump sum and move on to doing something else or nothing else. But the opportunity is huge. The timing is absolutely right. And where I see this going in the future is more people needing what we've got, more homes being built, and eventually the big guys coming in to buy out what we've got if we're willing to sell it to them. This is Gene from the Assisted Living Network saying do good and do well. If you like what you've seen and heard, please subscribe.